On Saturday, the 14th of October, 2003, there will be a solar eclipse that extends across North America, South America, and Central America in parts. And between 8:03 and 50 seconds a.m. and 1:55 and 16 seconds p.m. will be when a partial eclipse will be visible, and this will be Pacific Standard Time. And so the areas in which it is visible, and it will peak at 10:59 and 32 seconds a.m. Pacific time. And it will be visible as full in parts between 9:10 and 11 seconds and 12:49 and 1 seconds. So AM to PM. And so to use my calendar of the tarot, we have the universe as the day card, the hanged man as the season card, the hermit as the month card, the ace and princess of cups as season cards. The decan would be that 4 of wands, and the prince of wands would be, the other court card involved in this. And I lost your signal a bit here. Where
did I go?
I don't see visually, but I'm gonna list out here. So sometimes when they're talking astrological charts, they are acting as if they're acting as if that a person doesn't, some of the signs, it's like, how can this whole sign be in another sign? That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to readjust this to the age of Aquarius. And so the sun and the moon would be in 14 degrees (8 minutes) of Virgo. And Mercury would be in 4 degrees, 11 minutes of Virgo. Mars would be in 24 minutes, degrees, 45 minutes of Virgo. Venus would be in 28 minutes, 28 degrees, 3 minutes of Cancer. Uranus would be in 15 degrees, 14 minutes of Aries. Jupiter would be in 6 minutes, 6 degrees, 2 minutes of Taurus. The north mode of the moon would be in 17 degrees, 55 minutes of Pisces. The Neptune would be in 18 degrees, 36 minutes. Of Aquarius. Saturn would be in 23 minutes, 52 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto would be in 20 degrees, 54 minutes of Sagittarius. I think I said that Mars is in 24 degrees. 45 degrees, 24. No, it's 24 degrees, 45 minutes of, no, of Virgo. And I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send you the picture in the chat. I'm not sure how much we got cut off there.
Sorry about that. I totally died.
And I can definitely send you the graphic of the tarot cards again. Well, the tarot cards is the background. So we have retrograde motion, which doesn't do anything physically. It's just something people get their thing off of. So Jupiter, so some sort of resistance and or some sort of reversing of medicine, you could say, are, you know, the occult, the mystery, you know. So Uranus is retrograde. Neptune, so judgment, the unconscious, that's going back a little bit. And also Saturn, so the ego. Well, a lot of people have a false construction of consciousness. People misjudge the ego all the time. What's wrong with the ego? And so remember that to adjust this towards the age of Aquarius, we're going 37 degrees backwards. So, but let's first get into the cards. So this is on a Saturday. So the potential of emotion within all of emotion, but the work is done. So the work, you know, people felt what they're supposed to feel. That's probably the wrong word because we're not talking about sensations, but emotions. But the people have felt what they're supposed to feel, and it's time to, you know, go back on it a bit. And so we got that now the volume went away. That was probably the right setting that was supposed to be.
Is it on my end?
Yeah, your end, you just got the right volume. Something was turned down, so I couldn't hear yet full thing. So I've had to turn it up. The Hanged Man is like, it's like the sacrifice card, but sacrifice, like, you know, you always see these vision quests. Odin hanging from the tree, somebody hanging from an ankh, the Enochian tablet of earth behind him. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, but there's probably too many squares there. It could be the whole Enochian tablet, but it's talks about it like it's supposed to be that.
I found an Enochian tablet for fire, I think it was, just earlier today. And
oh, you mean pictures online?
yeah, I found it online, and I was just about to study on it a little bit tonight.
Well, one of the things about the Enochian, that the transliterations are left to right, but the Enochian is right to left, and there's only those characters. So you see all these boards with like English, and it's like, really? And you're asking people to spend $200 for per tablet, and they're not even in Enochian.
Wow.
They're just transliterated tablets. Okay, so the Wands card, that's the completion card. And so if we connect that, the hermit is this inner and outer work. It's hard to tell, is he bringing this great work that he's done within himself out, or is he bringing this stuff from the outside world into himself? Either way, and see, it's like the hound of hell. It's like, but the hound of hell isn't per se against, it's like either he's controlling the hound of hell, or the hound of hell is like deflected by him or something. Well,
Reminds me of a poem.
or he's either way, it's not a trouble to him per se.
Yeah.
And he's being productive. You see that by the growth and the other stuff.
Reminds me of a poem I wrote just last night under Saturn. From the workings from the inner core, I guess you could say, to the outer. And
okay, so remember our Saturn sign here. Our Saturn sign is an Aries, which some people would see that as a conflict, but none of them really are conflicting. So even though something has to start, it's mature, just like you see with the tarot card selection here. We have, okay, it's supposed to be a younger woman on the thing, and it's like she's being sucked into a black hole with all the elements, because you see in multiple ways the elements being represented, the different parts of existence being represented. And she's pulling the thread, or she's you have to see whether she's starting something new or ending or undoing something,
or continuing something.
Yeah, is she bringing the work into being, or is she undoing the work? The point is that there's something to do. It just doesn't stop. There's something to do, and there's spirals and all this. So it just doesn't come to an end where it's totally black.
Yeah. I guess work is never done.
And
never completed.
One of the things that the Thelemics try to get you to do is to do some art or some writing, something that's going to go past your life in terms of your influence. That's a key thing in Thelema, if a person's going to do that. A key thing in a lot of things, but like your legacy, all your wealth and everything else, that just stops. The only thing that goes with you is the effects of your deeds and your legacy and deeds, your influence that carries on. And so you have to be careful about your influence. You never know when one word's going to turn into something that you could have this wonderful, wonderful life, and that one phrase that you said or something could have had such an impact that it undoes everything.
Everything. I completely understand and can see how that would definitely change. That could change a lifetime of work, actually. Yeah.
And so the princess, if you remember my one painting, I got the woman holding a cup and all that stuff because I don't know, the one woman was awkward with animals, which is fine, as long as no critters get hurt or something. But the so the princess cards are things of potential, and the other ones of kinetic. So the cup, oh, it's like the three circles wrapped, that's diagram that's a circle connected to a circle and as a circle. So there's a spot where it's all the circles and other spots where it's any two of the circles. You know what I'm talking about? It's right there on the card.
Yeah.
Right there on the cup. You got the circle and a circle and a circle.
Yeah.
And so your mind, body, and spirit, they're kind of connected. But, the cup is the inspiration. So the inspiration, once you fill the cup, because that's what people think, is some stuff, it is like you're overloaded and all that stuff. But when you have a spirituality, when you have a psychiatric development going on, you're not this cup. You become overflowing. Even if it seems like you're broken, you become overflowing. It's not the end.
Yeah. It like connects and intertwines.
And so the Pluto sign, the Pluto sign would oh,
Sorry about my
maybe I
wiggly.
read that a little bit backwards. So that no, I messed up here.
What?
So I need to go further. Oh, so Saturn's not. I was thinking wrong. It's 23 degrees 52 minutes in Capricorn. So Saturn and Capricorn go very well together.
Saturn.
So because you see the devil card and you see Saturn is like its key thing. So the ego, but see, you got to have the ego free from illusion and delusion and servitude to the material for itself. So that is a danger right there.
Yeah, I've heard.
And that's
the
listed
ego
as
was
retrograde. Yeah, that's retrograde. So the symbolism to watch out. Again, none of this is determinative. It's just making up things with star sign stuff.
Right.
And so Pluto would be 20 minutes and 20 degrees and 54 seconds in Sagittarius. So Pluto would be the art. So that would go in more to what I said earlier. The art card is the, did I leave this window open? Oh, we have about 10 minutes. So the art card, yeah, Pluto represents beyond your own lifetime. The rotation of Pluto around the Earth is like, I don't remember what it is, but it's clear that you're not that you should not expect to live as long as Pluto.
Right.
And so it represents, so there's a balance that one needs to maintain, onward to the afterlife per se. And so we look at Neptune. So Neptune would end up being 18 degrees 36 minutes Capricorn. So being judged, well, in moralistic terms. So if the devil card is vice and virtue, so good and truth being represented not directly, so you turn it and try to find the good and truth. So the reversed could be a good symbol with that. The lunar mode, that's not where the eclipse is the future. So the future, we can relate the future to 17 degrees 55 minutes Pisces. So a future that regards the mystical side. Some perhaps people, well, most people need to turn more towards that side of life. Jupiter would be 6 degrees 2 minutes in Aries. So a masculine idea of rulership. Well, there's been a lot of overemphasis on just put the women in charge to have the women in charge, rather than having a balance in society, or having that not be the quite things like who is actually the ruler. That's not quite the point, is it?
Right.
Uranus would be 15 degrees 14 minutes in Aries. So a very positive, dominant, sure, eclectic sort of approach, because sometimes we can't have things in the category that we per se would want them to be. we have Venus as 28 degrees. 28, yeah, 28 degrees, 3 minutes. Yeah, they're in different things. Instead of minutes and seconds, it's degrees and minutes. So that throws you off, right? Cancer. So that would be, there's a vehicle. Venus representing the emotions, service, stuff like this. It's a vehicle. There's a purpose to it. It's greater as a song. I don't even remember what the song is, so it's probably a bad example, but more than a feeling, because that feeling is strong, or something, that thing, or some Michael Bolton.
You're thinking of
I said I
Boston.
loved you, but I lied. It's more than love I feel inside. No, I can't even sing that right now. But you know what? So what? Yeah, I've been trying to remember this Michael Bolton song where the guy's like, or maybe it's some other group like some other singer like that, Into the Night or something like that. It's like one of the lyrics or something, and like it's up there, something. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not. Maybe just no one's posted the whole album to YouTube, so I can't find it.
Back in the 80s, dude. Back to the 80s.
Anyway, so that kind of
Maybe
gets
early
that.
90s.
So Mercury's of the message. Mercury's of some other stuff too, but and so for Mercury, we got 10 degrees, 11 minutes, Virgo.
10
so
degrees.
Regardless of all this outer stuff and stuff, there's a purity, there's a self-restraint that can be through it all. Mars would be 24 degrees, 45 minutes into Virgo. So again, you can be very driven, very sensual, very out there without having to violate any term. You can put everything in context.
Right.
And so the sun and the moon are in the same place. There are, well, at least, they're sort of the same degree, but they get so close that you get the eclipse for a little bit there. And that would be 14 degrees, 8 minutes in Virgo. So both the source and the reflection of source will be found in,
Okay.
and the lunar mode, so the past. So regarding one's past in particular, you got the reputation, you got the ritual focus of reflection or other types of reflection, and that's all in that context of, the person who is surrendered.
Gotcha.
And if there's any further thought in the few minutes here, I was gonna head off before this meeting closed. But
just scribbling down my notes.
the cards and I personally am rather fond of the Hangman card.
Yeah.
But
like
see, the Hangman card always, the Hangman card always represents a that. So the Hangman card always represents a sort of what's it called?
I like the way he hangs there by the
Well, it's always these myths where there's a choice involved. Well, whether it's going to happen or not, they're not fighting what's happening. So there's no suffering, regardless of what the person's going through. There's no suffering with it.
Right. Yeah, he looks so peaceful as he's hanging there.
And the snake, of course, the snake and the little rays coming off that represents, of course, the vision coming through.
Right.
And yeah, those princess cards always seem to have that that thing going on with the there's work, so there's potential. So the princess is like the potential of it all, knowing that there's this thing in the future. But the prince's started his work. He's trying to, eke out his business and all this other stuff. And the wands cards are, of course, of will. And yeah, I think I'm just going to leave that off if one doesn't have anything more to say. But one should remember that whether one's in the presence of the eclipse or not, one may notice something during the time or maybe about a week afterwards, because there is some minor effects. But anybody talking about an eclipse season, if things are blind, nobody notices a difference. If they don't know there's an eclipse season per se, they don't notice anything. And why is it between this eclipse and this eclipse is the eclipse season and not between that one and another, right?
Right.
It's whatever popular culture decides, and I just don't think that's how it works. But these things it's like any oracle. The Alephus Levi maxim: a sage does not consult an oracle, a sage directs the oracle.